All right, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Let's see how bad the stream is. Hopefully it's not crazy. Should it be bouncing off the walls? Hopefully that's the main thing I'm hoping. I'm using a different camera today. Welcome. It's Monday morning. Not Monday. It's Wednesday. It is not Wednesday. It's not Monday. Monday was 2 days ago. That day is over. That day is over. Let's see. We're going to let people come into the chat. Then we're going to start. We're going to officially get started. Let's see. YouTube says it was live, but it's not live yet. Oh, it is live. Okay, it is live. Some of the frames are being dropped a little bit, so let me see if I can go into settings and manipulate this a little bit. First of all, hello, how is everybody doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Hopefully it's not too crazy for everybody. I hope people are doing decent. It is a interesting day. Very, 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 very interesting day. And the reason for this, hey man, your admin is here. What's up? Happy you are here. Everclear, you made it. It has a weird lag. Okay, it's not a horrible lag. It's a little bit annoying of a lag, but it's not. I think it'll go away in a bit. The market is interesting. If you guys hadn't known, we had this thing called a bounce yesterday. And it was a pretty phenomenal bounce, if I'm being honest. This is what we've got. Look, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good bounce. Palantir went up to about $10. I think it's $9 in the pre-market today. Yeah, we closed at 10.07 yesterday. And you know, it went up. It closing 8.6% in a day is awesome. ARK was also up 9%. That lets you know a lot when ARK goes up 9%. So it's an interesting situation that we're having right now with the market. Now, the reason that I think it's interesting is because I kind of feel like it's a bit fake, if I'm going to be honest. If I'm going to be just purely honest, I kind of feel like it's a little fake. Good morning, Sean. Good morning. Dead cat bounce. Yeah, so a lot of you are saying it's a dead cat bounce, and that is the question. Is this actually a dead cat bounce, or is it legit? That's what we are going to try to answer. Today is going to be very interesting to see how the market opens. Because today, if the market does not continue, and already in the pre-market it's low, then this would be another one of... Let me go to the SPY real quick. I did this counting a while back on the thing. Damn, my computer has more lag than my phone. Yeah, I don't know why it's so laggy. I think it'll get better, but... I notice whenever I export a video right before I go live, it does the lag because I guess the system uses too much GPU, but that's stupid. I don't know why I should do that. Okay, so let's look at the S&P over the past 6 months. We talked about how many bounces there were, right? Yesterday, going up to 380, it wasn't the craziest bounce for the S&P from 376 to 380, but it's a decent 2-3%er, right? It's a decent amount that it's going up. And so, or sorry, not 2-3, about 1.5% or something like that. So, I mean, I don't know if it qualifies as a huge bounce, but it is definitely a little bounce, right? We were down here, 360. We went this 360 to 390 was like a real bounce. And then 370 to 381, it's not like a huge bounce, but it is a little bit of a bounce, right? It didn't go lower than that. Tesla almost recovered back to 700. Yesterday it was touching like 665. Bitcoin was in the low 19s, getting ready to go to 18, and it recovered back up to 20. Kind of insinuating that Bitcoin is very correlated with growth stocks in the NASDAQ. I mean, Bitcoin goes up when the market tends to start going back up again. And there's a couple of reasons why. Glitch Life, shout out to you in the chat. Morning fam, I do not think it's a get cat bounce. This is a trend reversal in growth. We lost over 80% since December. Growth is continuously having higher lows. That's a good point. However, this market is freaking crazy. This market is freaking crazy. This market is absolutely crazy. Gas prices dropping could mark a peak in inflation, and the dollar getting strength in tandem could go a long way to helping the market. Yeah, I agree. I think the gas prices point is also very interesting, particularly because the way to get oil prices to go down even substantially lower. Oil prices right now, the crude and WTI. I mean, we'll look that up right now, but I believe it was 100 yesterday. Brent oil price. It was 103, so we got 103, and then WTI oil prices. They're supposed to be in the 70s and 80s, right? And so it's 99. Wow, it's actually went below 100. Wow, we went below 100. That's new. They're supposed to be in the 70s to 80s, even 65s at some point. So them crashing yesterday, and crashing meaning down from 120 or whatever it was definitely good for the market. But the way to really destroy oil prices is obviously having demand destruction, and demand destruction comes from likely having a recession. Gary says FOMO is back. Samuel, happy you're here. FOMO is back. Yeah, now FOMO is an interesting one because, I mean, I think a lot of people have it. DNA went up 13% yesterday. Kathy bought almost like 2.4 million shares over the past couple of days. Let's actually look at what ARK bought yesterday. I didn't see anything around what ARK bought. Here we go. ARK Invest Daily. Oh, here we go. So this is what we have. So she bought 20,000 Twilio, another 264,000 Ginkgo Bioworks, 6,000 Coinbase, 4672 Simple, and then she sold Berkeley Lights and Stratus. What else did she do? She bought a bunch of this in the ARK Genomics Fund. Another 57,000 of Ginkgo. So Ginkgo Bioworks, man, if that thing explodes, Kathy's going to have a lot of fun with that one. Okay, so nothing too crazy. She didn't sell any of the big names like Spotify or Tesla or anything like that. Or Roku or anything, Zoom or anything. She didn't buy any of those either. Twilio was the big one, and then a little bit of Coinbase. Coinbase seemed like a buy just because they had some cash left and they have to like kind of buy stuff to buy stuff. So it didn't seem like it was that crazy. Samuel, thank you for being here. Thanks again for the YouTube advice. The first day, first Killmonger video was live. Following your advice, love it. I will watch it later, Samuel. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. I just see it on your channel right now. Awesome, 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 awesome stuff. What's your opinion about the AMC GME movement where it's at today? Let's look at AMC GME. I actually didn't keep up with it yesterday. I don't know if it rallied. So what? It $12, blah, blah, blah. Let's go to GME. Did they go down yesterday? On July 1st, it was 121. Yeah, it didn't really rally. It stayed flat. Well, I guess my opinion on if it's staying flat and not rallying is that the market is only, well, it's harder for these quote unquote meme stocks to rally if like if we're in a theoretical recession. Now growth stocks in general are hard to rally, so meme stocks would just be incredibly more difficult to rally in my opinion. What happened to oil yesterday? I don't know. Oil just became oil, and it just, leave your comments below what happened to oil yesterday. I mean maybe there was some news out of Russia, Ukraine kind of stabilizing certain practices, but overall not exactly fully sure what happened to oil. It was a good morning. It was a okay. So yeah, so that's that. Now let's go on to Palantir. Palantir also had a report. I'm coming out today with a new video today that talks about their technology being utilized in a particular way. So they have this facial recognition technology. A Bank of America analyst basically gave them an upgrade on Seeking Alpha. Well, not an upgrade. They have a $13 price target. They stayed true to that because facial recognition technology that is very controversial because of how it could be implemented and how it could be manipulated in certain ways was said to be inevitable being used by governments and agencies in order to stop crime. And Palantir's technology would be the actual technology used to facilitate the safe, protective, meaningful way for that FRT, facial recognition technology, to be used. Going back to the philosophy of protecting civil liberties. So that, I don't think that bumped up the stock price. I think that in general, that's good, just seeing that there's more demand from governmental agencies because of this particular type of technology and because this technology is relevant. But it shows you another use case. You know, Palantir is working with climate change. Palantir is working with healthcare. Palantir is working with energy. Palantir is working with supply chains, logistics, and now facial recognition technology. I mean, that was the bull case for me for Palantir, is that their software could literally, you know, be used everywhere. So that's sort of the way I see it. And I'm going to be doing a video on that later for why I think that's a pretty good thing. Now, I don't think that helped the stock price. I think the macro was just great yesterday for stocks, but ultimately we'll see that hopefully in the long term. All right, in about 10 seconds, the market is going to be open, and we have this bell if you're new to this channel. And on this bell, are you guys ready? The market becomes open. Wake your ass up. The stock market is officially open, and there's a decent amount of green, but there's also a decent amount of red, and we are going to see what's happening with that green and with that red. And there it is. All right. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. All right. Wejo, Palantir SPAC, struggling at $1.02, down about 1% in the morning. Tesla down about 1% in the morning, 695 opening. Amazon was at 106 for the past couple of days, down a little bit in the morning. Nothing too crazy for Amazon, doing okay. Let's see what else do we got. Hello, Amit Samuel. Thank you for being here. Palantir, go, 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 go. Let's see Palantir, how it's doing. Wow. Whoa, I didn't expect it was down to like almost 990 in the pre-market. Shot right up. That's a great shoot up for Palantir. That's breaking yesterday's. Yesterday closed at 1007. Oh, that's great. Wow. That's not bad at all. 1017 for Palantir. Not bad. Tesla's going to see. You have some stocks go. This is a weird situation where Palantir is actually going up as other stocks are going down. Like, look, Robinhood is down. Well, DNA is up 3% already pre-market or opening market. Roblox is down. Open Doors up a little bit. TQQQ is up a little bit. Where's the regular QQQ? It's up 287, glowing close to 290. Remember, the high on this baby was like 406 at its peak. So it's a long way to go. Wow. Like Palantir being up right now kind of shows me there's maybe the market's actually looking at it outside of some of the other stocks. SPY at 382. So SPY's holding normal. 381 was where it closed yesterday, up from 375. So that's there. Your neighbor probably wondering what's happening with the bell. I feel like every day, and my windows are wide open. My neighbor's like, what the heck does this guy do at 9:30 every day? Like, why is this guy doing this? But we got to do what we got to do. Blah. All right, let's see what else we have. Holla. Thank you, David, for being in the chat. Now, Bitcoin's the interesting one, okay? Let me check something real quick. Bitcoin is the interesting one at 20,000. We're going to see how it goes and performs over the day. I want to pull up a couple of things that I was thinking about when it comes to Bitcoin. Let's also look at ETH. ETH, I know a lot of people own ETH over Bitcoin. You know, it was really interesting. I was watching Mark Cuban on a podcast talk about why he's not going all in on crypto right now. And it was really interesting because what he was saying, you know, Mark Cuban, if you don't know him, he's a big NFT Web3 crypto guy. And the guy asked him, like, why aren't you buying crypto? And he was like, well, I don't see the catalyst that's going to make ETH that breakthrough thing. Like, as in, like, it doesn't have its Netflix streaming moment or something like that. And it was so funny to me because I'm like, bro, you were literally pumping ETH when it was 4,800. As soon as prices go down, everyone starts to feel a little uneasy about their convictions. Wow, Palantir at 1025. This baby's running. Tesla's back up as well. So the entire macro is running a little bit. But hey, it's a second day of momentum. Not too much red yet. It's running. But that was the thing about ETH is like Mark Cuban wasn't buying it yet because he's still uneasy. He thinks, you know, you could tell in his voice, he's like, what if crypto is a scam? Even though he's made a ton of crypto investments. And he's like, the reason I'm not buying more is because he didn't say if it is a scam, but the way you could tell from his voice was like, well, I haven't seen that breakthrough moment. You would think NFTs and smart contracts are the breakthrough moment to establish the credibility of a cryptocurrency in which you could build things on top of, which is like the network that ETH is. But nonetheless, Cuban did not necessarily feel that. Quarantine Quartet, top of the day. How are you? Thank you for being here. Rivian up 10%. Wow, Rivian. Some people were saying some huge buys on Palantir were coming in yesterday. So who were those huge buyers? Yeah, that is a mystery. I mean, it would have to be some type of institutions if you're talking about a couple million shares back and forth. Rivian is up 10%. Yeah, Rivian. Remember, I don't get it why anyone was buying this shit at 179. I mean, like, this was rough, man. This was when the market was all-time euphoric. I mean, even I, who was very inexperienced then, still knew not to buy Rivian. There's just too much going on with it right now. Palantir at 1020. Okay. Not crazy at all. Let's go to CNBC. Let's check out a couple of interviews that I wanted to check out and watch some of the stuff going on and keep going from there. There was one person talking about this is not at the bottom, and I wanted to see a little bit more of their perspective. So here we go. Let's listen to this, and we'll keep going from there.
China is the only place you're constructive on.
Well, hey Melissa, I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but it's really where we've been seeing, some pretty good opportunities. I mean, right now in this environment where profits are slowing, liquidity is tightening, it's definitely the time in the cycle where you want to play defense. So obviously that's an area of the market we've been very, positive on. But if you look for things that are bucking the trend, things that have a lot of positive absolute upside from here, China probably sits in that camp. I mean, if you think about our process, which is about profits, liquidity, and sentiment, it's almost the polar opposite of what you're seeing everywhere else. I mean, yes, sentiment is bad, and we've seen it in markets here, but China's market's down 40%. It's much, much cheaper on a valuation basis. From a liquidity perspective, they're like the only major economy out there that's trying to pump liquidity into its economy. And meanwhile, you're seeing in the data those first signs that there may be, signs of bottoming in profits growth, which is critical. And that's the opposite of what you're seeing outside of China and the rest of the world.
If we think that there's going to be a recession in some of China's major export markets, Dan, are we still as positive on China? I mean, I'm thinking about the U.S., obviously, and Europe.
Yeah, well, I mean, absolutely, Melissa. I mean, if we're in a global slowdown that may ultimately turn into a global recession, this is not the time, to be pedal to the metal and risk anywhere in the portfolio. I think, this is the time where you want to be prudent. You want to take down your overall risk profile, take down your betas and things like that. But in this environment, if you can find the diversifying asset, the thing that's uncorrelated with everything else, which China has been for like the last 3 years, yet nobody cares. It's a great time to look. I think Kramer always says there's a bull market somewhere. You could have this environment. Well, yes, things are slowing, but on a relative basis, they could be, on the precipice of a bull market, so long as the profits, you see some carry through in the profits front.
Hey, Dan, it's Tim. So talking about some of the high multiple tech stocks we all know have been the epicenter of the storm. And what we've seen in the last 3 weeks to a month, you've got names like Zillow, CrowdStrike, that are up anywhere from 40 to 80% off of their lows. We've talked about that even earlier in tonight's show. The dynamic, obviously, lower rates, maybe less Fed. The market's getting ahead of things. Any places there that you can be constructive? A CrowdStrike that has 35% free cash flow yields, and that's what the market's looking for, or is that stuff just do not touch?
Tim, as you probably know, we're not stock pickers. I mean, we're not looking at the balance sheets and the cash flows for individual companies. But broadly, I would say, it's a kind of a do not touch story. I mean, the reality is whatever company you want to pick, whether it's the cheapest companies, the companies that are putting up the best cash flows, or the highest quality companies, the thing that they all have in common is that they benefit tremendously from the past 5 years of record liquidity. And so, it basically created a bubble. As the bubble deflates, the fact that they all benefited uniformly means they're probably going to, see some pressure from that. That's what you've seen so far, and I think that's going to continue. I mean, if you think about the environment today, the time to be bullish on these stocks as a whole is if we are going to see signs of a bottoming in profits, or you're seeing signs that liquidity is going to get pumped back into the system.
So the interesting there, that the reason I wanted to show that clip is because, wow, right when I get back to Webull, what? Goodness. Look at this. This is ridiculous. We were just at 10:30. What the Oh my goodness. Well, that got destroyed. So the reason I wanted to show that clip is for a couple of reasons. Number one, his argument is against the sort of counter narrative we're seeing as per the rally, right? Which is that now is the time to buy big tech growth kind of stocks. His argument is that we haven't seen a bottoming in profits yet. And Q2 is going to be so incredibly important. I cannot stress how important it is, because as I talked about yesterday, look at Bitcoin. Wow, looking like it might go back to 19,000. If earnings are really good, the market's going to be in a weird situation, because the market's not going to know what to do with that. The market wants certainty, right? That's like the basic rule of how the stock market works. And there's already a lot of uncertainty in the macro, Russia, Ukraine, et cetera, midterms coming up. But if earnings are really good and the macro sucks with inflation and interest rates, the market's not going to know how to interpret that, right? Like, how do you interpret Facebook having, for example, theoretically, their best quarter ever? I don't think that's going to happen, but let's say that did happen, or even a really, really good quarter in a world in which the macro sucks this much. It's like, is there a recession? Is there not a recession? Is inflation going down? Are consumers just spending and spending and spending? But is there a wage price spiral? Like, there's so many factors that go into it. Versus if Facebook shits the bed, right? If Tesla shits the bed. If they shit the bed, then it's like, well, this is very simple. We know we can sell off these stocks. These hedge fund managers are not going to feel bad. They're not going to have to feel weird convincing their portfolio managers to sell off the stock because they know that the stock market sucks right now, right? And the earnings justify the selling off of the stock. MicroStrategy down 185. They're currently down about 3.6 billion last time I checked on their Bitcoin. So earnings are important. Now, what that video was just showing you is that China is now not performing as well as it was. It used to perform inversely to the market. Now it's performing in correlation, meaning China is going down as we are going down, which is bad. And we haven't seen a bottoming it out of profits. The way we catch the bottom is if earnings really suck, or the way we know the bottom may be capitulating is if earnings really suck. And at Facebook, where's Meta right now? If Meta's at 157, everyone's like it's oversold, or 166. And I think they did $28 billion of ad revenue last quarter. If they do 23 billion or 24 billion or 26, and their user growth goes down or retention goes down, then it might not be oversold because the metrics we were using to evaluate these companies was different. The punchline is that we've had liquidity for the past 10 years. And that was his big argument. He's like, these stocks have been propped by all this artificial liquidity. And if that's gone, then maybe the metrics, and Chamath Palihapitiya was talking about this, maybe the metrics we use to evaluate a lot of the big tech growth names is wrong. And we've got to see. Check Tim Draper's hypothesis that women will push Bitcoin to 250K. I'm interested to even see what that is. Fed meeting minutes are coming out today as well. Some volatility. Also, jobs report is out Friday. Yeah. Let's not forget that the Fed meeting majors later today. Yep. Amazon dropping announced partnership with Grubhub this morning, adding to Prime. Guess folks aren't hungry for that partnership. Yeah, see, like partnerships, that's kind of, I made a tweet thread about this a while ago that I'm kind of happy that Palantir is where it's at right now, because Amazon announcing a partnership, that's probably good. You know, the market would theoretically interpret that as like, that's a good thing for the stock, but like the market doesn't care. So whatever Palantir does right now, the market's not going to care. So it's like, okay, the market's not going to care. The market's not going to care. And as a result of the market not caring, then you get to kind of be bad for the next 18 months. And eventually when the market cares, you get to benefit off that. But it's not like Palantir has, it has to go down from like 85 down to 7, like Robinhood, right? So it's in a peculiar situation, but that's the most interesting part of this thing for me. What is going to happen on earnings? What is going to happen on earnings? We are really going to see how things go down on earnings. Saul says, good morning, Daddy. Thank you, Saul, my son, for, wishing me a good morning. I appreciate it. A little bit of an announcing, guys, that I'm going to make a little bit of my own plug. I've been talking a lot about my startup for a while now, over the past 2 months. I believe we have a launch date for that startup. July 27th. Put it down in your calendars. July 27th, 10 a.m. Eastern. It might be 9:30 or 10 a.m. I'll give you the exact time, but it's going to be in market open. July 27th, my startup will be introduced to the entire world. People who want to invest in it via a crowdfund will have the opportunity to invest. The cool thing about the platform we're using is like you can invest literally $100. That's the minimum you can invest, and the max is like whatever amount you want to invest. It's based on how much income you make, but theoretically 10, 15 grand. So it's going to be exciting. I'm going to be introducing who's invested so far. I'm going to be introducing what the product is, introducing our marketing strategy, distribution. It's going to be really, really fun. So July 27th, mark that on your calendars. I'll definitely remind everybody. But July 27th, that is the day that I enter into the world. Drake had this really cool Instagram post I got to show you guys today. It's a quick Instagram post, and then we're going to go back to the market. Here we go. Champagne Poppy. That's his name. It's a beautiful one, and it's got to start somewhere. This was him in his old apartment, 1503, and it's a picture of Jeff Bezos making Amazon. Got to start somewhere. No matter what you're trying to do in life, you got to start somewhere. So July 27th, I will be starting in my own little somewhere. All right, let's get back into the market. So we've got Tesla at 692. Palantir went from 1030 to 1003, now back to 1015, so it's recovering over there a little bit. Twitter only being propped up because of Elon. Let's look at Elon's tweets recently. What has Elon been talking about? Because he hasn't been saying much. Well, he's been saying, he said something really cool this morning. He said, humanity will reach Mars in your lifetime. Humanity will reach Mars in your lifetime. This is also very motivating, right? Like the guy literally has everything in the world in terms of problems with Tesla, Twitter, and he's talking about still going to Mars. Just does not stop working. BCSD, our super chat's enabled. Testing, yes, it is enabled. $2. Thank you for the super chat, BCSD. Appreciate you. Joel, what's up? What's up? Thank you for being here. Elon Musk, humanity will reach Mars in your lifetime. Let's see if he said anything about. And then he said Elvish is just Elvish without an H. 10,000 retweets because he's Elon freaking Musk, of course. Let's look at Doge. Where's Doge? Well, let's go to Spotty. Spotty was at 104. It was down to 89 at its lows, 104. It's back down today a little bit. Or sorry, went up to 107 yesterday, something around there. ARK has not liquidated the rest of their position. Let's go to ARK's holdings, actually. Zoom is still the top for ARK. So that's kind of where it's still at. I think Spotify, they have like 700,000 shares left of ARK, of that stock. They haven't been buying either, though. Where's Zoom right now? Where's Zoom? They haven't been buying Roku or Zoom for a minute. Zoom's at 120. Again, Kathy thinks this is a $1,500 stock by 2026, so eventually it's going to have a crazy run up. Roku's at 89. Okay, Roku's getting hit a bit harder. Okay, so that's that. Let's look at what she's got in the fund. So Zoom, Roku, Tesla, CRISPR, UiPath. Those are the big... It's back. I think it's back. Never mind, we're back. That was crazy. That just happened super randomly. Okay, we're back. That was random. This is an omen of things to come. Yo, this is wild, bro. This is so... Did you guys see that? That was a first for the stream. I'm so happy we have that on camera. That was crazy. I was like, why is my net not working? That's wild. That was crazy. Okay, anyway, Sam, let's go to your Twitter. So this is what I saw on Sam's Twitter. I wanted to talk about this. That was wild. You thought it was... Yeah, I'm looking at the comments. You thought it was me. Damn, now my phone and my computer is... That was so weird, bro. I was like, what the fuck is going on? It's like... I think that was me. That wasn't you guys. That was cool, though, that we reconnected. We went and we came back. 161 of you are still here. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. All right. So Sam on Twitter, by the way, everyone should follow this guy. Really smart guy. He has a job interview today, so wish him luck. He's super smart, knowledgeable about the markets. Shopify is delaying a compensation package overhaul that would give employees more choice in how they are paid following challenges posed by its fallen stock. And persistent sell-off during the technology sector. Back in early April, Shopify told its employees their compensation packages would be changing in the summer to give them more flexibility to decide how much of their salary was paid in stock versus how much in cash. Makes sense because their stock price has been in the gutter. Since then, those changes which were to take effect this month have been pushed back to at least September. These changes have already caused issues in the company, I would imagine, because if you're someone who's like, I don't want the stock, I want the cash, and the stock's dropping and you can't change, that would suck. At least 50 people have been laid off since April, partly due to their compensation packages being out of line with certain colleagues under the new plan. Dozens of job offers have been delayed while the company adjusts its salary framework. So if we look at Shopify, which will load up here, 33. Shopify's in a rough situation, right? So it was at 176 to 33. If you adjust it for split, that's like 1,700 to 300 because it was a 10-for-1 split. And employees that were signing up from. Let's go to 100. When was it 100? It hit 100 in September 2020. If you signed up from September 2020 till basically February 2022. You are down massively on your options, or like you got options that were so overpriced. Like imagine getting your options at 150 or your RSUs. For you to get those prices again, the company has to legitimately 5x from here, which is not easy. Which is not easy at all. So it is rough. It is rough for Shopify. So I think that makes sense for them readjusting their stock-based compensation package. But the question is ultimately, is that going to be effective, and is that actually going to motivate people, and how are they going to be able to react? But news like that is incredibly important when addressing the macro, because if that's happening, other companies are doing this as well. Zuckerberg, I'm pretty sure you guys all saw this. He came out and he recently said, look, if you don't want to work here and if you don't want to be heavily criticized, he's talking about like the appraisal that he's going to be putting out into the world in terms of their project managers doing like reviews on employees. He's like, it's going to be way more intense. He's like, if you're not doing your job, you got to get the hell out. And so they are trying to save costs as well. And instead of hiring 12,000 engineers, they're looking to hire like around 6,000 to 7,000. So lots and lots and lots of things are changing in the macro economy that make it more indicative of potentially some more fear or some more pain to ultimately come. And that's what we're seeing. So overall market sentiment right now, it got red. I mean, we had a nice little run up on some stocks. Palantir's like toying in the middle of 10 and 1030. Everything. Tesla's 684. It was just at 699. It's like Bitcoin traveling right back down to the 19s. Netflix has been a very interesting stock for a while, but I'm really curious about their next earnings. I mean, I've wanted to buy Netflix as a value play, but I am very scared. This is why I've been scared for the past couple months. People are like, why aren't you putting money into the markets? Because I am scared. I'm very, very scared of buying some of these stocks. I'm not going to lie. Just given how bad things could possibly get. But things might not get that bad. And then DCAing is always the right strategy. It's just a question of how bad could it get. Netflix as a value play, I think, is a great option. But I don't think at 181, if their next earnings where they lose subscribers, which we know, like, I don't know if they're going to gain more subscribers. Same thing with Spotify. I mean, I don't know if Spotify is going to gain subscribers, but I don't know if Spotify is keeping it. Samuel, I still like Shopify though, but it's rough now with the macro Google trends not so encouraging now either. Cloud and most SaaS killing it regardless. Yeah, cloud and SaaS-based companies like Net and CrowdStrike, I mean, they're doing phenomenal. I mean, or not even that they're doing phenomenal. Obviously, the macro's down, but the demand for them is still going to retain. They're going to survive through the next 18 months. People are not going to stop using AWS. That's just not happening. They killed it with Stranger Things, the most watched series by far, reportedly surpassing Squid Game. Yes, Stranger Things, if you guys saw that, that was pretty phenomenal. I have not watched this yet. Stranger Things, 1.5 billion. I heard it got 1.5 billion watch hours. Yeah, here we go. Stranger Things. Wow, look at this website. iPhoneincanada.ca. It's an interesting website. Stranger Things has got 1.5 billion hours of watching. 300 million hours total were watched this last weekend. I know this because my cousin binged the whole thing. And they're doing season 5. They're milking the crap out of this. They left you on a cliffhanger for season 5. So yeah, it's interesting, man. I mean, like, now the question is, does this translate to business success, right? Because the key thing here when it comes to content is how much of that Stranger Things volume of content actually gets you back to the subscriber base. Like, who's subscribing to Netflix because of Stranger Things? Squid Game also, I think they added like 4 million new subs because of Squid Games. And I would be curious, Netflix wouldn't release this, but how many of those just left, right? How many of those just didn't continue to subscribe? Because if a lot of those continue to unsubscribe, then, I mean, that would also be an interesting thing to me as well. Okay, the reason I was pausing a little bit, guys, is because I think we're having a little more lag on the stream. I think that is my sign to end this market open. Thank you so much for being here. I'm sorry there was a lag today. We will fix that for tomorrow. It's the computer being the computer. Hope everyone has a good day. Sam, I know you're watching this. Good luck on your job interview. I will see you guys tomorrow on another market live stream, July 27th. Keep that date in mind. I'm going to be saying it a lot over the next couple of weeks. Got some interesting stuff coming. We'll see how the market does. I think if the S&P goes back to 376, it was a dead cat bounce. And it was fun because it was euphoric. It's like, all right, we got a little fun. But I guess ultimately we'll see what happens. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. I'll see you in the next one.